A lot of players are really annoyed at this new change and are demanding Riot do something about it. What's more frustrating is many of us warned Riot about this very thing a few weeks ago. To give some context, in this week's patch notes, Riot introduced new ranked restrictions where penalized players will have to play out 5 non-ranked queue games before they can play ranked again. This is to combat people switching between accounts to get around time penalties. The intent behind this change is good as it helps remove those disruptive players from ranked. However, the penalized players are now ruining ARAM games. This was something I said was going to happen when this was first announced, especially considering people control or in ARAMs to get the 5 required games done quickly by forcing losses. This change has only been out for about a day and there have been multiple posts on Reddit about this issue gaining a lot of traction. There's been thousands of upvotes and hundreds of comments on multiple posts in the last 24 hours. The first post says ARAM has been flooded with people saying end quick, running it down with no items or running demolish. Penalized players are trying to speed run their timeout games in ARAM. This is wild, they're not even being subtle about it and typing what they're planning to do in chat. Top comments say it should be 3 wins instead of 5 games, that everyone could see this coming, and penalized players need to be put together in their own queue. This is what Dota does well already. There's lots of comments like these. There's a more recent post getting upvoted quickly saying that the ranked penalty needs to be changed to wins, not games played, and majority of the comments agree. When this was announced a while ago, Hunted Fork said they might add a win requirement later, but they didn't want to do it initially because it turns those casual modes into must-win modes. I only partly agree with this. It would only turn those modes into a must-win or at least try to win mode for only those penalized players, instead of a must-lose or must-end quickly mode, which is what those penalized players are treating it as now. The win requirement should be there to prevent the inting and trolling that we're seeing at the moment. I know for some people it's just ARAM, but this behavior could spill over into Nexus Blitz when it returns in a couple of weeks, which could ruin the game experience for a lot of people, especially returning players coming back for Nexus Blitz only. Even though Nexus Blitz games are capped at about 20 minutes, people could still try int or run it down to get the games finished quicker. It's good that Riot are making the ranked queues better, but they need to do something about the side effects this has caused on the more casual modes. A lot of us will play a few ranked games each split and then spend time chilling or grinding events in the casual modes when we can't be bothered with ranked. A Rioter mentioned recently that a lot of people actually play ARAM as their primary mode. The casual mode shouldn't have to suffer as a result of this change. What's interesting is this has blown up on the main subreddit but hasn't been mentioned at all on the ARAM sub. This is future me editing this in because a Rioter has since responded to these posts. Hunted Fork said AFKing will reset their ranked restriction and won't count, and people will supposedly get a 2-week ban if feeding detection picks them up just one time. Riot also ditched the win requirement years ago, mostly due to losing the tech or whatever behind it when upgrading the client, as opposed to intentionally turning it off, but they say the win requirements were too harsh and stressful for penalized players, but that was because they used to require 30 plus wins. Surely they could at least lower the amount of wins required this time. They also aren't changing their stance on Prisoners Island either. What do you think about all this? Let me know below. Thanks for watching, see you next time.